Hi and welcome to the BPA Plus demo. The first step in order to execute the BPA Plus wizard is to create a tech support file from the firewall. So here we're going to log in. We're going to navigate to Devices and then Support. And over in the tech support file, we're going to click Generate Tech Support File. Answer yes. Now that the tech support file has been generated, we're going to click Download Tech Support File. The next step in the process is to go to the Customer Support portal and log in. Navigate to Tools and Best Practice Assessment. Here we're going to upload the tech support file we just created. Click Browse. Locate the tech support file you downloaded. The next step is to classify the architecture. For the purposes of this demo, we'll just select what is currently selected. The next step in the process is to select your industry. We'll leave it at high technology and say Generate and Download Report. So you receive two messages, one that the report is being automatically downloaded to stay on the page, and the next one will be the report has been downloaded to your computer. The next step is to unzip the BPA report. After viewing the report, we can select the menu here and actually go to the best practice assessment. This shows the policies and the best practice checks that have failed. Any of the failed checks that can be remediated by the BPA Plus wizard will have a button labeled Try BPA Plus. Click the button. This is the first step in the BPA Plus wizard. You have been redirected here by either clicking the button in the BPA report or from the Get Help section. The first step in the process is to select Browse to upload your tech support file. Navigate to the tech support file and click Open. Now that the tech support file has been successfully uploaded, we can continue to the next step in the process. The next screen that displays is just to let you know that you need to set up the PAN-OS CLI for BPA Plus. This is how BPA Plus remediates your issue. Click Next. At this stage, you can see that there are multiple BPA failed checks. For this demo, we're only going to remediate the intrazone allow rule with logging. Click Next. At the very top, you'll see a message, please copy and execute the commands below to create log forwarding profiles. The BPA Plus wizard has determined you need to create a log forwarding profile. This step must be performed prior to continuing on with the BPA Plus wizard. I'm going to copy the commands to the clipboard. Now we'll switch over to the firewall CLI to enter the commands. Here are the rules we copied. Once we log in, simply paste the commands we got from the BPA Plus wizard. And now we'll go back to the BPA wizard and continue. This log forwarding profile will be used at the commands at the end to remediate the issue. At this point, we need to assign some threat prevention profiles. If these profiles were not already available on our firewall, we could simply click the down arrow and select Best Practice Profile. You could copy the commands here and enter them on the firewall as we did previously. Since the firewall already has the pre-configured profiles, we will just select Next. At the top it says, please review the best practice settings and select the desired option for your config. The intrazone default at VSys is a device group associated with this policy. You can see that the best practice settings is selected, and any parameter highlighted in blue is what will be changed to adhere to best practices. You can see here log at session start will be set to false. If you select existing settings, you'll be presented with the message, "Are you sure you want to deselect the best practice settings for this profile?" We advise against this as this will make your system less secure. Let's go ahead and reselect the best practice settings and hit next. So please review your changes before execution. Your existing configuration will be updated once the PAN-OS set commands are executed. The next section is Generate Set Commands. This button will allow you to copy all commands if you are remediating a multitude of policies or other best practice fails check. This would copy all the commands to remediate them all. In this case, we're only doing one, so we're going to scroll down and see the commands. Up here it tells you important information about the commands. This is just letting you know that there's a limitation on some terminal emulators to 20 commands at a time. And so if you enter more than that, be sure to look for that, or we recommend you only copy 20 at a time. And also the next thing is configuration changes will not take effect until a successful commit operation. Please be sure to follow your company's policy with respect to making configuration changes. Next we'll look at the commands. The first one is configure, which puts the firewall into configuration mode. The next three commands are associated with the interzone default rule. The action is set to allow, the log at session start to no, and the log at session end to yes. The next rule will set the default security rule interzone default log setting to the basic log forwarding profile you created in the previous steps. The next three commands set the threat prevention profiles for antivirus, anti-spyware, and corp vulnerability. Then the exit command exits configuration mode. So we'll copy these commands. Now we'll switch over to the firewall. So you can see from here, this is the second set of commands I'm going to execute. So I'll copy those. Again, go to the CLI of the firewall. Once logged in, I'll paste the commands. Everything looks good. I don't see any error messages. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to execute a commit. Again, you should follow your company policies on this to ensure that it meets the company policy on making configuration changes. So I'm going to enter configure mode. Then I'm going to do a commit. Wait for that commit to finish. Okay, after the commit is completed, I'm going to go ahead and view the firewall. Navigate to policies. Scroll down to the interzone default rule. Select actions. And as you can see, the action settings are now allow. The antivirus, vulnerability, and anti-spyware profiles have been assigned. Log at session start is unchecked. Log at session end is selected. We can also see the log forwarding profile we created in the previous step. After you've remediated all the BPA failed checks with the BPA wizard, let's just verify everything was successful. I generated a tech support file and we'll enter it now. You can see the message passing all best practice checks. This concludes the demo.